Welcome to the Strategic Growth Experts podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Taracco. I'm a business consultant, digital marketing expert, and real estate investor. And this podcast is meant to inspire you, educate you, and help you access your highest potential. Subscribe to the Strategic Growth Experts podcast on iTunes. Connect with us on Facebook and Twitter, and check out the website at strategicgrowthexperts.com.
Thank you for joining the Strategic Growth Experts podcast. I'm here with Pejman Ghadimi, the CEO and founder of Secret Entourage. PJ, how are you doing today?
How are you, bud?
Excellent. So I came across an article, I think, on Secret Entourage. You're talking about how you're helping people learn a lot of the skills that aren't common knowledge out there, helping them grow their business. So why don't you tell me a little bit about Secret Entourage and how you got started and what you're up to?
Sure. So Secret Entourage is a platform that is geared to help people become a lot more alert and aware about business and entrepreneurship. And so we were founded back in 2007, where I kind of had the idea to create just a simple website that would share the stories of successful people who have a passion for exotic cars originally. So we started just doing a very simple website with beautiful imagery of people's lifestyle and started documenting their journey to how they had become who they were. One of the things that was important in my life growing up was, since I was very young, I've always had exotic cars from hard work. And so a lot of people used to ask me, what do you do, man? Like, how can I get this car? How can I get this lifestyle? And so, growing up, I decided, you know what, I'm tired of explaining that. Why don't I create a platform that would explain it for me so I can just send people to it and they can read about it free of charge and just learn what people have done to be successful. And so after creating that for a few years, the platform evolved. We got a lot of visitors, a lot of people that, loved it, followed it. And over, the past few years, we've grown it to having over 1 million people on social following us, like millions of hits a month, as well as a full-blown academy, which we call the Secret Entourage Academy, where I now recruit experts, CEOs, and people who are entrepreneurs in their space to share how they've not only become successful, but share industry secrets and trade secrets for their specific kind of like success. And I share that with people via video interviews as well as courses and everything else we create that gives our members access to just self-education around multiple industries of business.
That's really interesting. We're in the preliminary works of setting up an event that really aligns with that. So it's really interesting to hear about how you got started. What's the response been like?
Well, originally people thought like any new idea in the marketplace, everybody thinks is stupid, right? Like everybody usually says, well, anytime something is new or they don't understand it, they typically shy away from it. But over time, we've gotten not only a lot of support both from entrepreneurs who have been very successful as well as an audience who has come to love the fact that we're not shy about lifestyle, but we're portraying it in a way that's not like who's got the biggest car or who's got, like the most expensive yacht, et cetera. But it's more of a using lifestyle to motivate and educate people rather than use lifestyle to show off. One of the things I always say is if you look at any person who hasn't had success, who is completely lost and yet has decided to be in the field of motivation or has been in the field of teaching people how to be successful, even though they've never been successful themselves. They typically rent cars, buy like whatever they can barely afford, and they brag about it, trying to get attention. And so my thought process was, if those people, which I consider very poor on the scale of wealth compared to people who have actually made or have had a lot of success in business, if those people can leverage lifestyle to show you old Lamborghinis, like rented homes, et cetera, to try to get you to buy into a product or program, then why can't I collectively bring all of the brightest and most incredible business minds who also share a passion for automotive, not the old stuff, like the brand new latest cars, latest yachts, latest penthouses across the U.S., and have them inspire with real success, not with just bullshit lifestyle. So I would say if, people say like money talks and wealth whispers, I always say, well, wealth shouldn't have to whisper, especially when it speaks so much louder than money.
So what are some of the coolest like yachts and cars that you've seen, and then also if you could tie that to some of the most impactful business advice that you've gotten from these people, what would you say that is?
Yeah, so I mean, I myself, this is the other difference in our business model, is that I myself have founded multiple companies before Secret Entourage, one of which is doing $40 million annually in revenue. So the kicker is I have my own collection of cars. I have my own access to yachts, planes, and everything else. And so what happens is when I engage one of our teachers, someone that I want to bring in the academy to teach, I'm talking to them from a very parallel level, meaning both the interviewee and the interviewer have both had a high level of success and can have a great business discussion that is not just generic in nature, like, how have you been successful? What do you do? So it becomes a very intricate business conversation with a lot of learning in it. And I mean, I've gone through and interviewed people like Rob Dyrdek, that have, the guy from MTV. I've gone and interviewed people that are more in the business world, like Andy Frisella, who's really well known on Instagram for his following, having built a $100 million supplement company. And I've interviewed over 220 people who each have had record levels of success in their respective industries. So we cover every single industry. If it's in business, we don't shy away from it. We want to talk about it. We want people to understand how business works in all industries. And as a result of that, it's easier for them to form their own mindset as to what is going to work for them and not just anything that's out there because they're just duped into it.
What are some of the things that you find in common with most of these people who are as successful as you are, people who are teaching in your academy? What's some of the advice for the entrepreneurs out there that's most impactful?
Well, I tell you one that actually works out really well every time, no matter who's listening to this, is that you got to think in business, not in short term, but in long term. And that's easier said than done, right? But the way you think about that is everything, before you jump into something, because people are quick to jump into things because they think they're going to make money. First off, you have to differentiate the difference between business ownership and entrepreneurship. Business ownership being the concept of creating a business for the sake of a profit, and entrepreneurship being the idea of facilitating change or bringing innovation and having it accepted by the masses as a new way to do something or business. So once you differentiate the two, then you have to differentiate for yourself, what are you really in it for? If you're in it for money, then you're in it to start a business. If you're in it to change the world, you're in it to become an entrepreneur. Second piece, you have to make sure you don't confuse the fact that just because you're trying to innovate the world or change the way people think, it doesn't make you an entrepreneur. It only allows you to have an attempt at it. True entrepreneurs are people who succeed, not people who are trying. So again, get over the glamour of the idea of I'm an entrepreneur. It's cool. It's not cool. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of headaches. It takes a lot of burden on your shoulder compared to what others are willing to take. And the mental roller coaster in it is devastating. And so the last piece I'll leave you with is assume that you're going to be spending the next 10 years working at it. Regardless that it's a business or entrepreneurial venture, everybody wants to make money quick. Everybody wants to succeed quickly. Fine. Nothing wrong with wanting to turn a profit fast. Nothing wrong with wanting to have a successful business fast. But the average commitment is 10 years. It doesn't mean it's going to take you 10 years to be making any profit. But for you to be the best in your industry, for you to be one of those big success stories in the future, for you to be someone that really has engineered a business or an innovation that really has shifted the way people think, that's a 10-year commitment. If you can do it in 5, you can do it in 7, good for you. But you still have to commit for the long haul. And if you're not ready to commit to 10 years, then rethink what you want to be committing to begin with.
That's excellent advice. One of the things that really sticks out for me in that is that when you talk about making a difference, and I think it really is a distinguishing factor of an entrepreneur who's going to be successful and one that's not. In your journey, when you have reached a point of success and then you started looking at how can I make a difference, what are some of the things that you really feel passionate about that you feel that you can make a difference in?
Well, I personally, my personal purpose is around helping people. Like I've always had a niche for it. I've done it really well in my corporate America career. I've done it really well in small business ownership, and I've really done it well as an entrepreneur as well. So all three, I've always had a people-centric approach to everything I do. I understand people. I understand how to grow them. It's a talent I have. And so I leverage that talent in everything I do, and you align that talent to your passion, and you have pretty much the sense of purpose in everything you do. I think personally, what's motivated me is just through all of these years has always been the idea that, you know, most people confuse making a lot of money with success. I think that's one of the biggest problems society has, is that people just always say, well, if you make a lot of money, you're very successful. It's true in the context of society, meaning in the context of your day-to-day life, money's important, it matters, it changes things, and being broke never bought anyone shit. So I think that, you know, being wealthy is a key part of success, but it is not the only thing success is about. I think once you've reached a heightened level of monetary success, I would say every single person I've ever spoken to that's made their money and has no longer been looking for money as a result, you know, and now is more looking to create change, comes to this realization that they ask themselves, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want to be remembered for past my death? And I think that, coupled with the whole 10-year commitment, is where people really figure out kind of like their life journey and what they want to do. And for me personally, it was always that same reason. It was, you know, when I made a lot of money very young, I started realizing, like, the Lamborghinis don't get better, the Ferraris don't get better, they look the same, they just change. So you get to a place where you're like, what do I want my life to mean? What do I want it to actually matter for? You know, and I was raised as a single mother, we didn't have much money, and I thought to myself over time, I said, I want to be remembered for the impact we make on people. And that's a very broad statement. And so I had to look inside my own talents and see how can I make an impact on the most people in a way that I am in something that I'm good at. And so, you know, people look at that in different ways. And for me, it was just helping people through this idea of Secret Entourage and just the work we're doing around teaching people awareness and entrepreneurship.
I think it was Tony Robbins said, success and fulfillment are not the same thing, right? A lot of people can have success, but there's a lot of successful people with no fulfillment. So it sounds like you've kind of found your niche where you can be successful and you can be fulfilled. And I think that's where.
Well, I think you're right, but so you're right, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. So success, in the means of when we hear that word in society, success comes from the idea of making money, because society's measure for success is monetary. Money is a man-made creation that is very, very well used in society to determine worth. So, you know, if something has a price, you pay money to buy it, right? So if you have a price based on what you've been able to earn, then you're worth more than someone else. So it's a very simple concept. Fulfillment, though, comes from the satisfaction of knowing that your time, the time you're using, is making an impact on yourself and those around you. And so, you know, you have to attain a level of success before you can find fulfillment, but having success doesn't guarantee fulfillment, if that makes sense. The main thing to remember here is, I wrote a book about this called Third Circle Theory, where I break down the idea of there's a difference between circumstance, there's a difference between society, and there's a difference between life. It goes back to my point earlier when, you know, I said you have to be honest with yourself. Even if you're young and you say, oh, I just want to make money, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I spend my 14 to 25 years of age working for two different people. I was a millionaire before I even worked a day for myself, working for other people. Most people would tell you, oh, you can't make any money or be successful working for other people and building their dreams. That's complete bullshit. If you're great at what you do, no matter what it is you do, you can make a lot of money doing it. Money is a byproduct of a skill and your ability to execute that skill better than everybody else. Don't matter you're doing it for others or not. You can be a mortgage lender, you can make millions of dollars a year. You can be a realtor, you can make millions of dollars a year. You can answer to your boss being a stock trader in a banking firm, you can make millions of dollars a year. There is nowhere where it says you're limited because your business doesn't let you, like the business you work for is not yours, so you can make whatever you want. That's a lie. It is obviously harder to find jobs that allow you to make $1 million+ a year working for other people, but it's not impossible. So the reality is, once you're honest with yourself and you tell yourself, I'm not in this to build a business and, you know, really figure out how to solve world problems and all that crap, you're really focused on making money, then by being honest with yourself, then you're looking at everything from a money-making opportunity lens. What do you have to put in? How much work do you have to put in? What does that equal for you? And while most people think that's a bad thing to be selfish and think about how much money you want to make, it's an important thing to master before you can actually provide value for others. A person who's never created value for themselves cannot impact and help others create value. It's impossible because you don't understand the core of what value means to you. How can you teach it to others? So I think honesty is the first part that a lot of entrepreneurs have this diluted version of what entrepreneurship is. They think entrepreneurship means making a lot of money, or it means that you're very successful, which is not true. Entrepreneurs don't really care about the success. They care about the actual change agent happening. Like, are they really creating the change they want? And for that, if they get praise or not, the reward of the accomplishment is much more than the reward of the money. But entrepreneurs or people that are in business, their job is to create a business. And a business's number one job is to create a profit. Look at the banking industry in the United States. That's a perfect example. What's the job of a bank? To make money. Do they give a shit about people? Of course not. Do they pretend to so they can make more money? Absolutely. Is it a scam? No, it's the way the banking system works. So again, everything is different, you know?
Excellent. That was some very valuable advice. Of the contributors who work with Secret Entourage, who are some of the most notable people that you've been working with?
I mean, some of the people that you may have heard of, we have Brett David, the CEO of Lamborghini Miami. We have Andy Frisella, is one of the most popular influencers online. We have world-famous celebrity chef Fabio Viviani and serial entrepreneur as well. We have the founder of AskMen.com, Ricardo Puporda. We have Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income. Dan Fleshman, the guy who's behind the creation of many celebrities out there. The founder of FTV Girls, Robert Simiar. World-famous penny stock trader, Tim Sykes. And then another person that may be in the lifestyle industry that you might have heard of, Jordan Swordlock, the owner of ADV1 Wheels, the world's fastest growing wheel company. So very diverse crowd of folks from a lot of different industries, and that's kind of what we pride ourselves in. I think I encourage everybody, any young entrepreneur or any entrepreneur in general, anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur, I think that's a better way to put it, to really realize that entrepreneurship is much more than business. It's a journey that involves a lot of self-awareness, and it's a journey that involves a lot of perseverance for someone, meaning that it's more than just like what you can make, if you can create something out of nothing and then sell it to people. It's about really facilitating a change, and if you're capable of creating that change, that's a great thing for you, but it's not enough. Facilitating change and creating change are two different things. If you create change, you're simply creating a product or service or something that you think is going to help others facilitate the change. But actually getting them to accept it, use it, and make it part of what they do every day, that's where the difference is, and that's where really the big difference is between real entrepreneurs and people who are just in the game of the excitement of maybe becoming an entrepreneur.
So secretentourage.com is the website?
Yeah, secretentourage.com is the website people should check out. And if they want to check out the academy itself we have, it's a Secret Academics with an S at the end.com, where they can pick up Third Circle Theory in my book, as well as our entire program to get started in entrepreneurship and to really understand how to network with some of these incredible people we talked about today.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Pejman. I really appreciate it.
You got it, buddy. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Strategic Growth Experts podcast. Subscribe, find us on Facebook and Twitter, and check out the website at strategicgrowthexperts.com.